Hey there, I have a whole stack of really good Christmas books to share with you today that I have in my own collection, but also ones that I've given to my grandkids. And I'm just gonna go one by one and do a little flip through on them and give you a sense of the story and the artwork. So maybe it'll help you choose books for whoever you've got in your life that you're wanting to get a Christmas book for. Okay, first up we have How Do Dinosaurs Say Merry Christmas? And it's a pretty funny book because these huge, colorful, amazing dinosaurs don't quite know how to act on Christmas. And so how do they say Merry Christmas? Well, it doesn't go so well, as you can see in the pictures here. Does he sneak out just to check what's to see? Does he rip open presents set under the tree? The cat shows up here. As we go through this book, you'll start to see the cat and the dog. The dog is not impressed. I don't know how they could have done these pictures any better. Here's the cat running away, the dog running away. Look at the gal. I think kids will love just the idea of trying to find the dog and the cat in each picture also. I love this one. Caroling with the dinosaur. This is where he turns to start doing things the right way. He helps trim the trees so no branches are bare. He eats all his dinner, then clears away dishes. And gives his grandparents big Christmas Eve wishes. Merry Christmas, you good dinosaur. Look at all the books in this series, and I don't have any of the other ones. I would love to see them too. Okay, next up is a Toot and Puddle book. I don't know if you're familiar with Toot and Puddle. It's always been one of my favorite books, and author illustrators Holly Hobby. I've got quite a few books in this collection, but this is one of the Christmas ones, and it's called I'll Be Home for Christmas. I love the cover of the book, the jacket, where it's got little gold foil. I don't know if you can see that in the camera, where the tree is lit up. So in this one, Toot is out on an adventure somewhere. I think it's Scotland. Yeah, Scotland. So he's written a postcard home to Puddle, telling him about his trip. But Puddle is anxious for him to get home. It's almost Christmas, and he's getting all ready. I love how they did this in red and in like colored pencil. I always like looking at how authors and illustrators lay out their pages. This picture is just incredible. And I like how this one over here, they did it in like typewriter print, since he was sending a note home to Toot, or to Puddle. So Puddle's busy getting ready for Christmas, decorating. Oh, Toot's on his way home, but it's a blizzard. He's trudging through the snow. Ooh, uh-oh. I think he can't find his way. In the meantime, they're wondering where he's at. Look at how they did the, instead of a sharp line, just faded that whole edge there. Who's this? Oh, looks like help came. I love this shadowy layout here. So great. He made it. Yay. Christmas together. Every book in this series, if you like the artwork especially, is really fun. It's always about, well, they have other friends too, but Toot and Puddle, and they have very different personalities, which is what makes the books kind of fun too, is one's more adventurous than the other. Okay, this one is Bear Stays Up. This is one where, of course, in the middle of winter, Bear is sleeping, but all of his friends want him to celebrate Christmas with them. And the rhymes in this one are really cute. Has a very good rhythm to it. So here come the animals. They're going to wake him up, see if he can stay awake for Christmas. He stands with a stretch and a great big sigh. I hope I can make it. I do want to try. So all throughout the story, the animals are trying to help him stay awake. While they get ready for Christmas, he helps them get the tree. I love this picture. He's sleepy, but he stays awake. Oh, he's about ready to tip over. Okay, finally it's evening and they're singing Christmas songs, and then all the other animals fall asleep, but not Bear. He's got a surprise in mind. And when all the animals wake up, they have all kinds of goodies. And they have a surprise for him too. And then he gets to go back to sleep. Good night, Bear. They whisper sweet dreams. Merry Christmas, dear Bear. So sweet. Look at the little character in the little sack there. So fun. Okay, what's next? Christmas Farm. That's right. This one, I always like to get hardback books if I can, but this one, it's crazy. I guess they just don't make it in hardback anymore. So when you find a hardback copy, it's like $40. But the paperback you can get, I think it was like $10. So that's why this one is paperback. This is a really cool story. It's about this boy who is the neighbor to this older lady. The little boy is 5 years old, and Wilma, the neighbor, grows these sunflowers, but one year she decides that she needs to do something else with her land, so she decides to start a Christmas tree farm. And she asks the neighbor boy, Parker, if he would help her. So she buys little seedlings that are 5 years old already, and Parker is also 5 years old. And so this follows the story of how they get everything planted, they work together, and they tend to the little trees, and it goes through the winter and the spring, and they start out with so many trees, but then over the winter some of them die off. Now the trees are 6 years old, and Parker is 6 years old, but they're not ready to sell yet, so they got to keep working. And it just follows the story of them patiently working away, taking care of the trees. And every year they lose a few of them to winter storms or the animals. But they just keep persevering and keep working. In this one, they get to start trimming them to shape them, how they would like them to look. And then they know in the next season they're going to get to sell them, so they start making their signs to get ready, and finally it's time to sell the trees. It reminds me of the book Oxcart Man, if you've ever seen or read that book. Kind of that feeling of, you know, making use of your resources and being patient. So they sell the trees, and I think at this point, I'm trying to remember, I think they are 9 or 10 years old at that point. And then Parker and Wilma go get their tree, and they look out over the city, and they see all the lights in the windows of people who bought their trees and have them all decorated for Christmas. They bring home their trees to their house, and then they start planning for the next year. Really fun book. Okay, this one is a little bit older book, Apple Tree Christmas. This is another one kind of in that same vein of happening a long time ago. And kind of also reminds me of Oxcart Man, where you're making use of what you have. I always loved that book so much. Totally different art style here. So here's the apple tree. Full of apples, a swing, and the family lives in the barn. Has a little bit of a feel of Little House on the Prairie too. So the family just loves this apple tree, and they always pick the apples and make apple butter and different things with it, and harvest the apples every year. The mom, I think that's where she's making apple butter there. And the girls like to play in the tree. This is pretty. I love how that goes across the whole page like that. Taking care of other animals on the farm and doing other chores, getting ready for winter. And winter storm comes. Mom baking bread in the oven. And when they wake up, something not good. Their beloved apple tree is no more. So the book is about, what are they going to do now? But they soon find out that that apple tree, even though it was ruined in the storm, it just keeps giving. They keep getting to use what they got from the apple tree. They use the apples, they use the wood from the apple tree to keep warm and make things out of it. So it's a good lesson in disappointment, but also using what you have and being happy about that. Okay, Mr. Willoughby's Christmas Tree. I love the artwork on the front of this. Very Christmassy looking, and the gold foil for the letters. Mr. Willoughby needs a Christmas tree. And this is so great right here. A lot more ink in these illustrations. So one day, Mr. Willoughby's tree arrives. Also very cute rhyming in this one. So he runs down the stairs and brings it up in the house, and it's too tall. So they lop it off, throw that out, and what do you know? that little piece gets given to Miss Adelaide. And that is how the story goes. It passes from one person to the next, and it's too big, and they lop off the top, and off it goes to the next person, who finds it thrown away, and they take it home and love it, but oh, it's too big, so they clip off the top and toss it out. Little bear has a little piece now to bring home to the family. I love this page here. Let me backtrack a minute, because it says, so they find out the tree's too tall, but Mama Bear just shook her head and sliced the treetop off instead. Jolly by golly, Barnaby said with a kick. Mama, that surely is just the right trick. Let's trim it with bells and honey rings, some berries and tinsel and popcorn on strings. So cute. They got their tree all set, but Mama's gonna take it out, that little piece, and throw it away. But the fox finds it. Look at this. So cute. They make a tree out of it, lop off the top, and the bunny finds it. And they make a nice tree out of it, but they lop off the top and throw it out. And who finds it now? The little mouse. And they make a little tree. Oh, wasn't it grand to have a tree exactly like Mr. Willowby? And here's the little mice with their little tree. Okay, and let's do this one. The Christmas Promise. I love, love, love this book. This one is one of the few books on the Nativity that I like and appreciate. I have a lot of strong opinions about the Nativity and how it's presented. I could make a whole nother video on that. But this book does a great job overall, I think, of conveying the message and not providing misinformation, and also capturing the feel of the excitement of that event. So it's called The Christmas Promise. A long, long time ago, so long that it's hard to imagine, God promised a new king. He would be a new king, a rescuing king, a forever king. Oh. So they set the stage. The Christmas story starts with an angel. Whoosh! He came from God to see Mary. The angel had a special message. Mary, you're going to have a baby. I like that. Well, this is a good spot to have a male angel because we know it was Gabriel. But one of my pet peeves is that most of the time when people draw angels, they're female, but there are no examples of female angels in the Bible. So it bothers me a lot. And so later on in the book, you'll see that they actually have male angels for other scenes also. So I like that. And every time the angel shows up, whoosh, he came to see Joseph. And I like how he's all excited and happy. Oh, so it's time to go to Bethlehem. All of these drawings are so basic and childlike, but it's so great. It's so fun to see the different art styles. And this is like full page, corner to corner. So there's the new king. This little guy has buck teeth. Oh, whoosh, here comes the angel again to tell the shepherds. And this is the best page ever. So you have all the male angels singing, and these guys are just elated, excited. It says, then lots and lots of other excited angels joined in the celebration. The shepherds were really excited. They went rushing to see the new king. And then whoosh, a new star popped up into the sky. So the wise men see the star now. Look at his eyeball. So there they go, off on their journey to find the new king. And there he was, just as the star had shown them. Everything God promised came true. And do you know what this king's name is? His name is Jesus. This one will make you cry. I've always had I guess I've always been soft-hearted about the drummer boy. And this story is just the sweetest thing. And the pictures and the storyline are so amazing. So, one year, this little boy gets a little drummer boy. Just what I wanted, he said. And the drummer boy's heart felt warm. The child loved the drummer boy, and the little drummer boy played his drum for the child. Boom pum pum boom pum, boom pum pum boom bum, boom pat pat boom pat, boom pat pat boom tat. But one day he gets knocked into the garbage by the dog tail. He ends up in the trash. And he is lost. And he tries to find his way back home to the boy. And everyone he meets, he plays his little drum for them, hoping to find his boy. And nobody will help him. He gets taken up by the owl. He plays for the little owls. They don't know who he is. And the owl drops him off at the top of the tower, and he plays his little drum, trying to find his way home, and then the wind blows him off. And all he could see now was the sky, and so he played his drum for the stars. Boom pum pum boom pum, boom pum pum boom bum. The stars twinkled to the beat of his drum. Oh my goodness, this page is incredible. Look at this. Even the breath out of the dog's nose. Love that perspective. I don't think I've ever seen that perspective looking up like that in a book. Oh, does the snowman know who he is? Is he going to be able to help him? He plays for the snowman. Oh, who is this? He hauls him off and drops him off. But the little drummer boy is still lost, and he just keeps playing his drum. And then one day, the little boy goes walking by, and who is this? He found him. The child sat quietly with the drummer boy in the glow of the moment. and he was suddenly filled with the Christmas spirit. He rose and carried the little drummer boy over to the mantel where the stable stood and placed him gently at the feet of the baby. And he began to play his drum as never before. And the little drummer boy's heart felt warm. Incredible. And the last one is the Nutcracker. One of the things I love about classic stories like the Nutcracker is that you can get the same story but with different illustrators, and it's just fun to me to just see how different people would interpret the art for the story. So this is illustrated by Maurice Sendak. And this also is one that is the full story, whereas a lot of the other ones that I've gotten for the grandkids are adaptations, so they're not so wordy, but those are still great too. But I just thought this was a beautiful, beautiful book, very inviting to look at. So when you have kids that are ready for the whole story, this is a great format for it. I love how these are just little windows into what's happening. I'll just flip through to a few different pages here. Let me find another bigger page. Look at that. Oh, wait a minute. That almost started to look like Where the Wild Things Are, because he illustrated that book too. One of my favorites for sure. This is Incredible Stormy Sea here. That's amazing. So you might think about that if you think you have grandkids that would be, or kids that would be interested in that, to get more than one copy of the Nutcracker with different illustrators, and they can enjoy that process of taking in the creativity of people telling the same story but with different artwork. Might even inspire them to do their own artwork to illustrate the story. Okay, well that was all my books for this year. Lots of other Christmas books out there, but that's what I wanted to share this year. I hope that was fun, and I will have links to these in the description if you're wanting to order any this year for your kids or grandkids, or just bookmark them for another time when you want to try to find good ones. These are great ones. Thanks for watching. Bye.